Hello, my name is Carlos, and in the following minutes I will talk about Python data structures. This is the index of the presentation. I will start with learning objectives, then I will talk about lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. Those are the learning goals: understanding the main built-in Python data structure, understand how to manipulate data organized in lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries, and use built-in Python data structures to solve problems. Abstract data type describe the properties of its instances without commitment to their representation or particular operations. Abstract data type is a mathematical model for data types. It may be defined as a class of objects whose local behavior is defined by a set of values and a set of operations. Data structure is a collection of data values, the relationship among them, and the functions or operations that can be applied to the data. While the abstract data type is the perspective of the user, the data structure is on the perspective of the implementation. In any language, we may identify primitive data structures and non-primitive data structures. In Python, we consider that integer, floats, strings, booleans are primitive data structures. Examples of non-primitive data structures are arrays, lists, tuples, dictionaries, sets, and files. A list stores a collection of items in a specific order. You may access each item using an index or loop. A list is immutable. Here I show two ways of creating a list. The list is called shopping list and includes 4 elements. We may perform several operations in a list. For example, if we use the index 0, it will show the first element. If we use the index -1, it shows the last element of the list. We may want to manipulate each one of the elements of the list. We may use the for in loop. In order to add items, we use the method called append. In this example, I started by creating a list called films. This list has no elements. The square brackets have no elements. Then we use the method append, and between the round brackets we put the data we want to add to the list. In order to remove elements from the list, we may use the method pop that will remove the last element of the list. We may use the method remove and put between round brackets the element we want to remove. We may also use the statement del and identify the elements we want to remove by using index. In order to empty the list, we may use the method clear, but the list still exists. It is a list without any element. In order to delete the list, we must use the statement del. We can create a new list by adding two existing lists together. We call it concatenation. A list comprehension is a syntactic construct available in some programming languages for creating a list based on existing lists. In this example, we are going to create a list of all the squares values of a list starting in 1 to 10. So the result will be a list of values 1, 4, 9, 16 until 100. We may want to slice our list. Suppose you want to extract 3 elements from the list. Suppose we create a new list supported in the first one. Then we add a value to the new list. What will happen to the old list? In fact, the old list is also affected. In fact, we are not creating a new list independent from the former list. We are creating a new list that points to the old one. Here we have two possible ways of creating a new list by using previous lists. We may slice the two original lists, or we also may use the method copy. The tuples are identical to the lists, but they are immutable. It means that they cannot be modified. What is the result of this snippet? Yes, it is an error. You will see the message tuple object does not support item assignment. Dictionary store links between pieces of information. Each item in a dictionary is a key-value pair. Keys are not repeatable. Values can be any type of objects, but keys must be immutable. This means keys could be integers, strings, or tuples, but not lists, because lists are mutable. In the previous dictionary, we may want to add new key-value pair. We may also want to iterate through key-value pair. We may use the for in statement. We may also want to iterate only through the key or only through the values. It is what happened in the first and second example. Sets are structures available in Python, used to represent and order collections of unique elements. A set, like in mathematics, is represented by curly brackets. In the sets, like in mathematics, we may perform intersection, union, difference, and symmetric difference. Summarizing, I talked about abstract data types. I also talked about data structures and distinguish between primitive and non-primitive data structures. Then I briefly talked about lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets.